And she said, she said, when people die, is that everybody comes around at first. There's a whole lot of hubbub, and people are there, and they're very supportive. And then, they just go back and live their regular lives, and your life has been shattered. But, and it's not an unkindness, it's just that people go back to their regular lives, and their lives haven't been changed erratically. So the other thing is you can do something later. Send her a card if you think it's something about Todd.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Yeah, that's how it was with my mom.
I'm trying to see. Oh, yes. And it's true of everybody.
Hello, just adjusting my music.
Okay. I'm just transitioning. I'm gonna lock the front door here. Did you find him, Margaret?
No, but I think it must be in the car.
Okay.
Really, I got 5 more at the same time.
Okay, well, I'll do a double check too when I'm cleaning.
Okay.
Okay. Bye. Okay. Okay. Sorry, it took a few more minutes to get everyone out.
No problem.
Okay, actually, one more second.
It's humid today.
Yeah, a little bit.
How are you, Shawnee?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Okay, I'm a little fatigued, so let's see if I can rise to the occasion.
Oh my.
Okay. Are you so glad it's Friday?
I'll be glad when this is over.
Hey, you'll feel so good.
I will.
Okay, we're gonna start standing again. We're gonna do a little bit of balance practice. So you can stand, and so again, I figured it would be you guys, so I didn't use any equipment. So,
Sounds good.
yeah. And so, Shawnee, you've got music on, right?
I'll put it on a little bit, but
Okay.
I'll mute myself too.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll just go ahead and do the mute thing here. And okay, and then I will do the speaker view and okay, and then I'll try and fix this so that you can see me standing first. I have this little camera, it should be here any day, and it'll offer a wider perspective so that shouldn't have to change it so much. But okay, so we're just gonna, like we did the other day, we're gonna start with some squats to warm up, and then we're gonna move into some back lunges that'll be a little bit more challenging balance-wise, and that's why we're gonna do them. So we're gonna start with your feet just hip distance apart or a little bit wider. A little bit wider, maybe like shoulder distance. And we're gonna think about that string that's attached to the very center of your head, pulling straight up to the sky, separating the vertebrae so that gravity can just help with the relaxation of muscles all the way along the sides of your neck, down your shoulders, arms through the fingertips. And at the same time, the spine just gets to keep lengthening. We're going to take some nice deep breaths, breathing in through your nose, feeling the rib cage expanding out to the sides and front and back like a big funnel. And then as you exhale, it's funneling down toward the pelvis. And inhale, we're feeling the funnel open. And exhale, funneling down. And we're just going to do that a couple more times, just sort of slowing ourselves down. Maybe I need to slow down. But we're going to do it for a count of 8. So we're going to breathe in for a full count of 8 and breathe out for a full count of 8. So we can really feel those muscles work and stretch and then contract for the exhale. So we'll breathe in. And out. Good. In. In. Good. Okay. So then starting with our squats, remember we just pay attention that we're bringing the hips and the sits bones, the glutes backwards so that we're not bending the knees way forward past the toes. Okay, so we'll do about 10 of those. So we're just gonna come back, nice deep sit here, and up, and back, and up. And when you're coming up, we're driving up through the heels, and really squeezing your glutes on purpose. Squeeze, and back, and squeeze, back, and squeeze up, back, and squeeze, and back, and squeeze, 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 back, back. And we'll do 2 more. And back. Okay? So then for our lunges, similar hinging points, the knees and the hips, but using our balance, I'll go from the side so you can see. You'll want to check that there's room behind you, and keeping your tummy nice and tight, we're going to come back to here and back up again. And we'll do the same leg, back and up and back and up. You don't have to bring the knee to the floor, but we bring it fairly close and back and up. So even that requires a certain amount of balance, holding things tight here and back and up. And we're using these large muscle groups again, and up and back and up and back and up and back. That's good. And up, and we'll do 1 more before switching sides. Okay, good. So the other leg, come back and up and back and up and back and up. 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8. We'll do 2 more. 9 and 10. Okay, good. All right, so now we're going to bring your legs really wide to do squats again, this time those sumo ones that we practiced the other day. We're turned out, and we don't have to stick the bottom out as much. This is more like the pelvis dropping down toward the floor. Okay, So we'll come on down and squat, nice stretch, stretching open the hips 2 and up, and 2 and up, 3 and up, 4, squeeze up, 5, up, 6, up, 7, 8, 9, 10, let's do 2 more, 11, and 12. And we'll lock our feet back in. Okay, so now for the lunges, we're gonna add that a little bit more balance. We'll start with the same leg that you did the last time, and this time we'll do 8 of them. We're gonna bring that leg back, and when you come in, we're gonna bring it all the way up to here. And we'll bring it back and up and back and up and back and up and back and up. There's 5 and back and up, back and 7, back and 8. Good. Okay. And then we'll do the other side. Okay. So if you can, try not to touch in the middle. If you need to step down, that's okay. But if you can, see if you can work toward coming down to that position, swinging all the way through and up, all the way through and back. So that foot doesn't come down in the middle till you're done. And 4. And down and up. One side's gonna be trickier than the other. It does get easier over time. Good job. Looks good, Sandra. Okay, good. Okay, let's finish with one more set of the parallel squats. So just a little bit wider than hip distance. And we're just gonna come down and up, down, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, we'll do 12, and 9, and 10, 11, and 12. Good. Okay, so now feet hip distance apart still. Got my heart rate up a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna do a couple of roll downs here, stretching out your back. So we start by bringing your chin down towards your chest so you can feel the length in the back of the neck, just letting gravity work a little bit there. With the knees and hips soft, we're gonna roll down one vertebrae at a time. And see if you can feel the muscles that line your spine on either side stretching all the way from the base of your skull down to your sacrum. As we roll down. Then we'll take a breath in and exhale to roll up, tucking the tailbone, soft knees so you can really pull, use your abdominals to push into your spine. And roll up that way. And once you come up, we're gonna reach your arms up like you're doing a breaststroke, lift the sternum to the sky. And come around and back down again. Bone by bone by bone. All the way down. And stretch. I will take a breath in, exhale, tuck. And rolling on up. And reaching up. and around. And we'll do that one more time. Chin down, rolling down, and stretch. And exhale, tuck. And we roll all the way up. And sternum lifts to the sky. And in. Okay. And then we're going to stand with your feet a little bit wider apart, about shoulders again, not as wide as a sumo squat, but about shoulders. And we're going to bring your arms out to a T. And keeping your hips facing forward, try not to let them rotate, so we tighten the pelvic muscles. We're going to rotate just the ribs, just the rib cage. So we're going to feel your abdominals twist here. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, twisting a little further each time back to center. And we'll go to the left. 1, 2, a little further, 3, back to center. We did this seated the other day. 1, 2, 3, back to center. The other way. 1, little further, 2, little further, 3, back to center. Other way. 1, little further, 2, little further, 3, back to center. Other way. 1, little further, 2, little further, 3, back to center. Okay, then we're going to add on to that and move into the saw. We'll bring the arms back out. And it doesn't matter which way you start with. I'm going to go to my right. So we're going to rotate. And then from there, we fold straight over. That back arm comes up. Fold straight up, back to center. Rotate, straight over, straight up, back to center. And rotate, straight over, straight up, back to center. Rotate, straight over, straight up, and center. We'll do one more to each way. Rotate, over, and up, and back. Other way, over, and up, and back, and down. And we'll roll the shoulders. Okay, then we're going to come down to our knees. We're not going to do those crazy side leg ones today, though. Okay, so we did do these before. We're going to practice some squatting again, but a little variation on them. So we're going to start with your feet, your knees about hip distance apart. And you can have your toes can be tucked under, or you can have them with your shoelaces on the floor, that side. Either way is fine. And we're just going to start with those presses like we did. Yes, we don't have a ring, so we're just going to press with your arms. So we're going to start with your hands at your chest here. And as you exhale, we, like before, we stick your, bring the glutes back. The spine is still in neutral, and squeeze back up. When you come up, really drive with your glutes, really squeeze them like there's resistance there. We kind of have to make some of our own on some of these. So we're going to come back and squeeze to come up, and press and squeeze to come up, and press, squeeze to come up, and press, squeeze to come up, and press and squeeze. Press and squeeze, and press and squeeze, press and squeeze, and press and squeeze, and press and squeeze, press and squeeze, press and squeeze, and press and squeeze. Good. Okay, then just like Same principle, but we're going to be hinging from your knee. So we'll have your knee, hip, and shoulder in alignment. We'll have your arms out like hug a tree. And as you exhale, we're going to hinge back. I'm sorry, this is your inhale. Exhale, come back up to a T. And inhale back. Exhale up, watching that the shoulders don't hike up. And back and up. So we really feel these muscles in here. Back and up. And back and up. And back and up. And back and up. And we'll do one more like that. Back and up. Okay, then we're going to come forward again. And this time when you hinge back, we're going to bring your arms forward, line everything up so that your arms are up, lined up with your ears. Shoulders pulled back down towards your hips. And we're going to do hundreds swims. So we're going to start swimming your arms. And we're going to do inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Last inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Last inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And up. Okay. Good. So then we can bring the extra mat aside if you have one. And we're going to move on to all fours from there. So I'm not so much doing the circuit today. You can see we're just kind of steadily moving from one thing to the next to keep our heart rates up. Okay, so we're going to do all fours here. And whenever we're in all fours like this, it's helpful to keep your fingers pressed into the mat. That takes pressure off of your wrists, so we'll be mindful of that. Bring the shoulders back away from your ears so that we don't get lost in your shoulder blades. And we have your abdominals pulled up towards your spine to support it. And then we're going to do just a basic cat and cow. Also, the elbows are soft. So we're going to imagine that you've got a string and it's pulling your belly button straight up toward the sky. And as it does that, our head and the tailbone are just going to fall down. Good. So now imagine that that string is still pulling your belly button straight up, but your head and your tail are going to go up too. So your belly button, your abdominals are still pulled up. They're not sagging, but we're bringing the head and the tail up. And we'll reverse it again. That string is going to pull a little tighter, bringing your belly button up toward the sky. The head and the tail go down. And then that string is still pulling your belly button straight to the sky. And we bring the tail and the head up. So your abdominals stay constantly engaged. We'll do that one more time. String is pulling your belly button up, and it keeps pulling it up as the head and the tail go up. Check out where your shoulders are. And then we're going to go back to a long neutral spine. Belly button is still being pulled up. Okay, from here we're going to do 2 sets of bird dog. So we're going to pick the one that feels awkward to you, the one that would not be your first choice, and we're going to lengthen that arm and that leg. And we're just going to find your balance, looking straight down toward the floor so your neck is long, shoulders back, tummy pulled in, stretching. And then we're going to bring that arm and that leg in. And with as little movement as possible, switch to the other side. This should be your easier side. Feeling that length. And we're going to come in and switch again. This will be the more awkward side. And we'll come in. And last time on this easier side. And in. And we're just going to do a lot of lower back stretches in between, mostly well, to give your wrists a break and your back. Anytime we work an extension, it's always good to add a flexion stretch in between. So that's what this is. And we round. And since I can't see you, anytime you need to stop, please do this and stretch. Okay? So now we're going to come back to those all fours again. Fingers pressed into the mat. And we're going to start with our less confident side again. So we're going to lengthen the left, well, for me, the left arm and right leg. Elbows soft. Want to make sure that's not locked so that we can keep your shoulders back. And we're going to bring your extended fist in, the extended knee, and touch them. And extend back out. And once you feel that 10 times, we're going to keep going and really allow that leg then to extend quite a bit. It can go beyond parallel and really reach up. We're not wanting to rotate the hip, but we can let the leg really extend up by squeezing your glute, stretching the front of the hip. And we're doing 10. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. I'm going to give you enough time. Okay, then we're going to do the other side. The same thing. We'll go into that extension first. This should be your easier side. Shoulders back. We're going to bring that fist in toward the bending knee and extend. And once you're confident and feel that, go ahead and really let that leg extend. And 4, and 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, and lengthen, and in. And then we can stretch. Okay. So then we're going to come onto all fours again. And so you've probably done this variation on your laying on your tummy before. And it's a single leg stretch or a single leg kick. So we're going to extend, we'll extend the right leg first, and we're going to have it so it's parallel to the floor. And we're going to flex your heel, and we're going to go kick. I'm sorry, it's point first. We're going to go point, flex, point, extend. 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 So we're really feeling the glute on that side. Point, flex, point, extend. Point, flex, point, extend. I just found my shoulders hunching up, so check yours. Point, flex, point, extend. Point, flex, point, extend. One more, point, flex, point, extend. And we'll come in. Always stretching if you need to, taking the pressure off your hands for a minute. Then we can extend the other leg. Hips are square. And we'll bring those toes in for point, flex, point, extend. 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 Point, flex, and extend. Point, flex, and extend. Point, flex, and extend. Point, flex, and extend. Point, flex, extend. Point, flex, and extend. Point, flex, and extend. And one more. Flex, extend. And down. Okay, back to the right side. Okay, and we're gonna keep this right leg flexed, and we're gonna bring the heel up toward the ceiling. Squeeze your bottom, bring it all the way down, hovering above the floor. And 2, shoulders back, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. Switch. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. Good. Okay. I think that's enough in that position. So then we're going to roll onto your, or extend onto your belly. Okay, and we'll have your forehead resting on your hands, which are stacked one on top of the other. We'll have your legs lengthened about hip distance apart. Okay. And we're going to do some swimming legs. So we have your abdominals pulled in. And we have, you can feel both hip bones on the floor. Neck is long. Just waiting for you, Sandra. Okay. Good. So the shoulders are back. Rib cage, you can feel your ribs on the mat, hips too. And we're just going to lengthen the legs and lift them. And we're going to do our hundreds this way again. So we've got the pelvic floor engaged, and we're going to swim the legs. And we're going to inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. And we're going to bend your knees so they're a little bit wider, like close to the width of your mat. Heels together, toes apart. Now we're going to squeeze your glutes and lift the heels toward the ceiling, and lift 1, and 2, and 3. Shoulders relax. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, last 2, 9, and 10. And we'll finish the other half of our hundreds with our arms matching the legs. So we're going to lift up and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, last inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. And relax. Hands under your shoulders so we can stretch back. Then we're going to sweep your legs around. And we're going to roll onto your back. I'm just going to add an extra mat. Okay, so we're going to be practicing neutral spine. And so there's one little exercise we're going to do first regarding that. So with your feet on the floor, we can start by rocking the pelvis up and down a couple of times so that you can get a sense of when you're in neutral. So we go into a posterior tilt, so it's really scooped here. And then if we go into the opposite, an anterior tilt where it's really arched, that's not quite neutral either. And then we relax into the center. It's nice and flat. So then we're going to notice if we take a breath in and we come up into a curl, looking at your pelvis, notice if it's tipped up. So we're looking at it, and let's tip it up on purpose, and then bring it back down into flat. Okay, then we'll tip it up and bring it back down into flat. And now the flat is what we want. Okay, so we're just checking that out. Okay, then we'll come back down. All right, so now we're going to tuck your knees in, stretching that back, and bring the legs into tabletop. And we're going to take a breath in and exhale up into our hundreds prep position. So again, check your pelvis. And we're going to have your arms just about the height of your belly, elbows are soft. This is called 100 prep position. And we're just basically breathing in for a count of 5 and breathing out for a count of 5 without pumping the arms. What we are going to do for a count of 5 is stretch the legs out. So we'll inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Moving the whole time. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Making sure that your belly doesn't pop up. Your back doesn't pop up. We keep your belly button sucked into your spine. 2, 3, 4, 5, and in. One more out, one more in. And we'll come back out of your curl. Okay, so that was the first one. The second time, we're going to be bringing your legs up and down. And the idea is to always be lifting up high so that your head is floating up above your shoulders and not not really heavy, making your neck tired. Okay, so we're going to do that again. We'll take a breath in and exhale up into that 100 prep. Okay, we'll extend the legs. And we're going to inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Last exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll come back down. Okay. On the last one, we're going to be bringing our legs for circles. They'll go around for 5, and around for 5, and around for 5, and around for 5. Okay, that'll be our last set of those. Okay, so we'll come back up into our curl, extend the legs, and we'll inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. And last one. 4, 5, and bend and down. We'll extend your legs out. That's hard to do while counting. Bring your arms up. We're going to stretch out your tummy. Okay, shoulders away from your ears. We're going to take a breath in, and as you exhale, Access that same spot, draw the rib cage down into the mat, tuck your chin, and we're gonna roll up one vertebrae at a time and continue to stretch all the way forward. And then pretend you have this big belt around your waist and someone's behind you trying to pull you backward with it, and you're reaching away from them. You don't want to be pulled backward, but they're succeeding. So they're pulling and pulling, and you're still reaching. Push your shoulders down and drag back, touching one bone at a time onto the floor. And back, and we'll do it again. Breath, arms, body. Good. Got that belt around you. It's pulling, and you're reaching, pushing the shoulders down so that each bone touches one at a time. Back, we're going to do 2 more. Shoulders down. And last time. And back. Good. I'll bring your feet up. Okay. So this time we're going to do a couple of bridge lifts. So the first one we'll do bone by bone by bone. So we have your heels fairly close to your glutes. And we'll rock your tailbone up and down like we did before. And then one vertebrae at a time, tailbone first. We're going to pull bone by bone by bone by bone and stretch from the ribs down the hips through the knees. Big breath in and exhale, roll back down. Keep your hips and your knees pulled into parallel. There's a tendency for them to want to kind of slang out to the sides, but we're not going to let them do that. You can get a really good stretch. And exhale back up. And roll it. And one more. I think I said 2, but we're doing 3. And notice if there's any sticky parts or any places in your back that need to be addressed. Okay, so now we're going to do some marching, and we did this just the other day. So we're going to do a total of 10 on each side. So instead of rounding up, we bring the body straight up more like a drawbridge. And we're at the same time, we're bringing one leg and then the other to tabletop, just like that. So they're like big giant steps. So we'll take a breath in, and as we exhale, we're going to lift one leg up and come down together, and the other. Good, so there's 1 on each side, and here's 2, and 2, and 3, and 3, and 4, and 4, and 5, and 5, and 6, and 6, and 7, and 7, and 8, and 8, and 9, and 9, and 10, and 10. Good. Pull your knees in. Okay, and then we're going to roll like a ball for 8 times. So by pulling your knees in, we're going to tuck your belly in, use some momentum, some abdominal strength to roll up and balance on your sits bones. And then we're going to keep that C curve the whole time and roll back up and balance, and roll back up and balance, and roll back. And up and balance. And roll back. And up and balance. And back. And balance. We're going to do 2 more. And on the last one, we're going to roll back and hold it and just bring both hands over to one knee. And we go back into this 100 type curl position and into knee changes. And we're guiding the knee and we're not yanking it so that our legs stay perfectly parallel. You're still looking up toward the navel, scooped tummy here. Switch and switch and switch and switch and switch and switch. Let's bring your hands behind your head so that we can move into obliques and switch and switch and switch and switch. Doesn't have to be a big shoulder twist. We're just moving the rib cage from side to side a little bit so that it lines up with that knee on that side. And switch and switch and switch. Both knees in, tuck, lengthen, and around tuck. Lengthen, around tuck. Your body stays very still. We're just moving the limbs. Tuck. And tuck. And tuck. And tuck. One more. And in. Lastly, pulse, 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 pulse. Scissoring the legs, stretching that hamstring. Pulse, pulse. Pulse, 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 pulse. One more on each side. Pulse, 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 pulse. Knees in and down. Good. Okay. So then, let's see, we don't have the ring. We're going to bring your feet hip distance apart, so a little bit closer. Maybe a little bit closer than the first bridges we were doing when we were marching. And a little bit closer to your glutes. And so we're really going to engage in the pelvic floor. We're going to pretend almost like we have that ring to squeeze. So we're actively squeezing in here. We'll take a breath in and exhale. We're just going to roll up into the bridge. So we're actually getting to stretch everything we were just contracting. And we're actively squeezing our bottoms. And we're going to lower the hips just a little bit and exhale, squeeze up. For 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. I'm going to take this right leg up. We're going to point it up, flex it down, and point and flex. 3, flex. 4, flex. 5, flex. 6, flex. 7, flex. And 8, flex. And switch. Extend, flex, point, flex. 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and down, and lower. And we'll pull your knees back in. Perfect. Okay, and then we're going to roll up and then onto your side. I'm still in the picture here. So we're going to lay on your, you might want extra mat if you have a bony hip. And we're going to have this bottom arm underneath you and pretty far underneath you because we're going to want it to be able to actually lift you a little bit like that. So that's how you can kind of gauge the position. And this other arm is going to be back behind your shoulders as well, so that when we get to that point where we need to lift, your waist will actually come up off the floor or feel like it a little bit. Okay? Okay, so then we have our legs hinged forward just a little bit from your hips. And then remember when we were doing from the knees the other day, that forward and back? It's kind of that same idea. We're going to do a pulse forward and a flex back. We're trying to keep the hips really still so your tummy and your pelvic muscles are tight. And we're going to do point, point, flex back. So when you flex back, you feel this nice stretch here. We're also going to press the elbow in and lift your body. So we're stretching everything. And then we lower the body, point, point, flex back. Point, point, flex and lift. Point, point, flex and lift the body. Point, point, flex and lift. 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 Point, point, flex, lift. We'll do one more. Point, point, flex and lift. Good. Okay, so then we can stretch this arm out and so we can lay on it. And we're going to bring this leg, your top leg is going to externally rotate. And so the toe is kind of pointed toward the ceiling. And we're going to stretch it up and flex it back down. Point and stretch, flex and squeeze, keeping this length in the waist and down. Point and flex. Point and flex. Now we're going to change it into a développé, which is similar to how we would do in class. We're going to bend your knee, extend the leg, flex down. So it's kind of like when we do bending the knee over the bar, comes from this movement. Bend, extend, and then over. Like when we press back, extend, and then over the bar. Bend, extend, over the bar. Bend, extend, and over. We'll do one more. Bend, extend, and over. Rotate to parallel, and we're going to do 8 little circles in each direction. So we're really reaching through the heel in that parallel, almost even turned in a little bit with the toe so that we can really feel right in here. Another direction. Good. And then down, and we can bring that knee forward and let that stretch for a minute. Good. Okay, now we're going to go to the other side. So when you're getting arranged, remember you want your elbow in a spot that allows you to feel like it can lift your ribs up. Okay. Okay. And your tummy's pulled in. Remember to help keep your hips stacked and stable. And the front leg is going to come forward for pulse, pulse. Flex and stretch and lift. Pulse, pulse. Flex and stretch and lift. Pulse, pulse. Flex, oops, and stretch and lift. My other leg flew up. Pulse, pulse. Flex and stretch and lift. Pulse, pulse. Flex and lift. Pulse, pulse. Flex and lift. Pulse, pulse. Flex, 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 lift, pulse, pulse, flex, lift, pulse, pulse, flex, lift. And we'll do one more. And stretch. Good. And we can stretch that bottom arm out. Hips are still stacked. We'll externally rotate this one a little bit. And we'll bring the leg all the way up. Flex and squeeze. Point up, flex and squeeze. Point up and squeeze. Point up and squeeze. Point up and squeeze. Point up, flex, squeeze. Point up, flex, squeeze. And squeeze. After this next one, we're going to move it into that développé where we draw up, extend, flex, and squeeze. Staying long in the waist, draw up, extend, flex, and squeeze. And down. And we'll do one more. And rotate to parallel, so we're reaching through the heel, turning the toe down even a little bit for our 8 circles in each direction, no wobbly hips. And 8 the other direction. Good. And then we can bring that leg in. Then from there, we're just going to come onto your knees again and stretch out your hips. And let your arms come all the way around to the back. Notice how even here your abdominals are pulled up away from your thighs. They're not just hanging out. And we'll tuck your tailbone and start to round into your back. Heel up and roll up one vertebrae at a time. Come up. We'll bring your arms right up the center. And open your chest, just like a breaststroke, just like we were doing before. Coming in and up. Open. Down and up. And all the way around. And in. Bring your hands forward and we'll tuck the toes under. Hands toward your toes, nice long stretch here. I bet it will go a little further now than it did in the beginning. Soften your knees, tuck the tailbone, and we'll roll up one vertebrae at a time. Using your abdominals to push. And then once more with the arms all the way up and around for that breaststroke. And around. Very good.
Last time.
What?
That went faster than last time.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one. You made it.
Well, I pooped out on that last leg lift on the side. But otherwise, I kept up pretty well.
Good.
Yes, it was less brutal than Wednesday, that's for sure.
Oh, really?
Well, I did take to heart what you said, and I thought maybe it would be nice not to do, I think those reps, you know, when we do the circuit like that, it's a lot of repetitions on the same muscle. So this way it kind of moves from one thing to the next, which is a little bit more in keeping with what Pilates is like. So,
Oh, I didn't mind the reps, I don't think. But anyway, today just, it went faster.
good.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
I,
good to have,
Good thing.
what?
That was a good thing.
Yeah. It's good to
Yeah,
have
and
variety.
I don't mind doing reps once in a while. You know, it certainly has its benefits. So sometimes, maybe sometimes not.
Yeah, I think it's good to just keep a variety.
Yeah,
Yes,
variety's
definitely.
good.
Yeah.
So I do feel good that I complied.
And now you get to have a nice weekend, feeling strong.
Stronger. I have such a long way to go, but I'm getting there.
This will help you a lot. You'll notice when you come back to the reformer, the floor work, this stint of doing the floor work, you'll feel good.
Yeah, I'll just fly on the reformer.
I think you want to lighten up a little. She's getting strong.
What? Getting too strong?
My husband says I'm getting too strong. Lighten up.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
Yeah, I got that right.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend, ladies. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Bye.